I have a real bone to pick with ESRB. Their rating system. Most of the time they get it right. Sometimes they don't. I have 3 series in particular that in my opinion they kind of messed up at. I'm going to start with Splinter Cell. As you know, all the newer ones get rated M. But the first 2 got rated T's. Now, I don't mind this because the first 2 Splinter Cells, well, the first 3 Splinter Cells didn't really have much explicit content. I mean, there was no gore, there's hardly any blood, no language, no nudity, just like gun violence. You just shoot people and like that's it. So it should be kind of rated T. I mean, my only problem is that they gave Chaos Theory an M. Why? I played all these, and to my knowledge, the first 2 are actually more violent than 3. In the first 2, when you shoot a person in the head, it actually shows blood. Whereas in the third one, when you shoot someone in the head, they just like fall over and die like really fast. No blood. I'm not saying they don't deserve T's. I'm not saying they don't deserve M's. All I'm saying is why would you give this game a different, a more explicit rating if it's about the same as the first 2, if not even less? It says, okay, let me go on the back of this. Splinter Cell 1. It says blood and gore and violence. There's no gore. There's blood from when you shoot someone in the head, and then there is violence. There's no gore. But I got a T anyway. I mean, like, that's actually very rare to see a game that they say there's gore in it, but they don't give it an M. Pandora Tomorrow. Blood, but no gore. Drug reference. There is drugs in it. Fields of drugs. And violence. Only in this one, there actually is a reference of gore. There's a part in Pandora Tomorrow, the second one, where you go in a cryogenics lab and there are brains scattered on the floor. That should be classified as gore. You see brains. You see whole brains in this game. That's gore. Rated T. Now for Chaos Theory. Blood. There's no blood. Really, I can't. There's even a scene where, I'm not going to spoil it, but still, there's violence, but there's no blood. There's no actual blood. I've never seen any bloodstains or anything. Strong language. Maybe once in a while I'll hear an enemy say like shit, what was that? Like 3 times in one playthrough. That shouldn't be classified as strong language. Maybe brief strong language. Maybe just language or mild language, but not strong language. This ain't Gears of War or some other game where they say fuck every 2 seconds. For violence, yeah, there's violence. This got an M. I thought it deserved a T. As a matter of fact, I thought all 3 of them. Personally, I thought all 3 of them deserved T. I know. I just said. I'm not saying they don't deserve M's. I'm just saying personally, they kind of remind me of T games. Not the newer ones. Especially not Conviction or Blacklist. Those really deserved M's because they were kind of violent. And they actually did have strong language. But the first 3 Splinter Cells, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, I thought they deserved T's, but for some reason they gave Chaos Theory an M. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, on to the next one. The Soul series. Which a lot of you probably aren't too familiar with. The first one was actually Demon Souls, and then the second one was actually Dark Souls 1, and then Dark Souls 2, which just came out this year, which I did a review on. But Demon Souls and Dark Souls are... Hold on. Demon Souls and Dark Souls are both rated M. For... Look at this. Demon Souls. Just blood and violence. Blood and violence. So now you're gonna go to Splinter Cell, the first one that came out in 2001 or 2002, I think. Sorry. And it says rated T for blood and gore and violence. But then, like 7 years later, you go to Demon Souls, blood and violence, M. Why? This is not a rated M game. There's no nudity, no language at all. There's weapon violence, and there's like a little bit of blood, just a little bit of blood, like when you backstab someone or something. Blood and violence, that's about right, and that's really all there is. But I don't think it was explicit enough for them to slap on an M rating just because it's like an RPG or something. Dark Souls 1, blood and gore. I do not remember blood and gore at all. I don't remember gore in Dark Souls 1. I remember some blood. I don't remember having it gore. I don't remember any of the Souls games having gore. Blood and gore, partial nudity. Well, yeah, I mean, like you can have your character in underwear, boy or girl, but that shouldn't count really. I mean, it's just. I mean, like. Are you gonna slap a public beach rated M just because you see girls in bikinis and guys shirtless? And violence. So basically, again, just violence, and I personally thought it deserved a T. Now, in my opinion, I think the ESRB corrected themselves when Dark Souls 2 came out. I think, and a lot of people say that, well, they made Dark Souls 2 a little less violent. Not really, it's pretty much on the same level as Dark Souls 1 and Demon Souls in terms of violence. But it got a T. Okay? It got a T. But it still says it has blood and gore in it. As a matter of fact, they put Dark Souls 1 as an M, but they said that it was less explicit than Dark Souls 2, for which they gave it a T. Dark Souls 2, blood and gore, mild language. I don't recall any. I really don't recall any language. I mean, maybe there is a sentence or two involved that I've never found. I don't know. I'll let it slide, I guess. Depending on what they think is mild language. Like ass and bitch. Partial nudity. Again, you can see your person in their underpants. And 90% of the time your person is a zombie, so it's not even good nudity. It's like rotten flesh nudity. It's like, ooh, hey look, ooh, peel my skin, yeah, you want to suck that? And violence. Okay. That seems to be the only thing the ESRB gets right. When they see a gun or sword, oh yeah, there's definitely violence in that, no doubt. They get pretty much everything else right. Now for my third one. My third series where I believe they kind of fucked up. Mass Effect. Now let's start with Mass Effect 1. As I don't have an actual copy of Mass Effect 1 itself. But I remember them saying, I think it said blood. I think it said blood, violence, partial nudity, language, and maybe like use of alcohol or something like that. and they gave it an M rating. And when I play it, it does not feel like an M. It feels like a T, because there's actually no blood in it. Again, you shoot someone in the head in Mass Effect 1, there's no blood. They just, like, collapse. There's no blood anywhere, except for, like, maybe in a few scripted scenes where you see, like, specks of blood in someone's face in a story or something. There's, like, an optional, like, 20-second sex scene if you romance someone in that game, but it's not actual nudity. You don't actually see nudity. I think the most explicit thing you see is a naked ass and a bit of side boob. No nipple, just side boob. But again, it's optional, and it's very, very short. And I feel like it only deserved a T. A pretty strong T, mind you, but still a T, not an M. Mass Effect 2 and 3, though, I do agree. I did think they deserved M's. Mass Effect 2 and 3, they actually had language. No nudity. But they had blood and gore, even though once again the ESRB only states that there's only blood. There actually is blood and gore in Mass Effect 2 and 3, especially Mass Effect 3. Drug reference, partial nudity, sexual content. Okay, there is sexual content. There's no nudity, but there is sexual content. You'll see, like, strippers dancing around in, like, lingerie and stuff like that. Strong language, yeah. There's strong language in 2 and 3. I think I've said that before. Whatever. And violence. So, as far as the whole trilogy goes, yeah, I agree. It's an M, but I feel like they messed up on the blood and gore of 2 and 3. They forgot to mention that, or they didn't see it somehow, which kind of leads me to believe that they never actually played through the game. And Mass Effect 1, which didn't have blood or nudity, had partial nudity. I mean, I'll give him that. I just don't think it deserved an M. So, wow, that was my whole rant on ESRB. But guess what? It doesn't stop there. Oh no. Let's talk movies. Yeah, the MPAA. Or is that what it's called? The MPAA. I don't fucking know. The motion picture rating assessment. MPRA. Anyway, I'm just gonna start off slow. The King's Speech. Rated R for some language. And that's it. R. Just for like a few seconds of swearing. Just like fuck, fuckity, shit, fuck. And like that's it throughout like the 119 minutes of the film. There is no violence. There's not even a punch or a slap. There's no sign of nudity. I don't even think there's one shot of a cleavage. It's a very classy movie, and it won 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. It's a great film, and it shouldn't have gotten an R because that less people can see it. What kid nowadays, like, never heard the F word? Like, who has virgin ears nowadays? Fuck. Shit! Pussy? rated R. For this, and it gets even better. Over 30 years before that, all the President's Men, and I'm not joking, this had more swearing in than the King's Speech. But this got rated PG. Like, make up your freaking mind. This, if anything, this deserved R, and this deserved PG. The other way around. Okay? Why do you have to confuse me like this? Oh, Lassie. Okay. The same year the King's Speech came out, The Social Network came out. That competed with the King's Speech at the Oscars and lost. But this was more explicit. Okay, look at this one. Rated PG-13, not R, PG-13, for sexual content, drug and alcohol use, and language. Actual language. You hear the S word and F words surprisingly frequent throughout the film. And there's actually an implied scene where two people get blowjobs in a stall. And that gets a lower rating than the King's Speech. I'm pissed. I'm so pissed. I'm sorry. I'm just so fucking pissed. Why did they have to do this? Compare and contrast, people. What's another good example? Oh yes, Rain Man. Once in a while you'll hear Tom Cruise say the F word. And literally that is it. And it gets a rated R instead of a PG-13. Oh my goodness. And then there are films that are so freaking violent or like so sexual that they still give an R instead of like an NC-17 or something like that. I'm not even going to list them, but you do know they're there. Oh my god. I just wanted to let it out of my system and say that the whole content rating is fucked up. It's like it's like almost as if like by accident they'll let kids see the wrong movie or play the wrong game. And it just pisses me off. Oh my god. Rated R. Or if you're gonna have this be R, or if you're gonna let this be PG-13, let this be PG or PG-13. Don't make it R. Same thing with this. And same thing with this. I've wasted enough time. This video is too fucking long. Thank you for watching. The Gamer Gods fail!